It crashed in 2000 or 2008, and they won't lose a penny in the next crash. A free report detailing this savings program is now available. To get this free report, visit bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
The Michael Smerconish Program.
Ready to redefine all the headlines.
Listen to it here every weeknight from 8 to 10 on the new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370. The Craig Bushon Show. The Craig Bushon Show.
TJ Scott, obviously been on the program before, works very hard for the Republican Party here in Travis County. And what is your one question, Mr. TJ Scott?
Okay, I have one question for Mr. Ryan Doughton because I am not stubborn. All right? And what is your hidden agenda?
Hey, TJ, thanks. That's a great question. I don't have a hidden agenda. I mean, my goal is to represent the people of our district.
Thank you, TJ, for the call.
I have a follow-up question.
No, thank you, TJ. See, that's the way it works, you know. But see, when your name is on the show, yeah.
Bigger than ever on the new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370. The Craig Bushon Show.
Welcome, folks. Live. Craig Bushon Show. Just exhaling my. I was at graduation yesterday, not for myself, but for my son, and it was great, folks. It was great.
Leander Lyons.
Yes, but do all the other kids have to walk too? I mean, I think we should just have you get there, your kid walks, and you leave. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I shouldn't say that. I'm just kidding. A lot of great stuff yesterday. I'm very proud of my son. He graduated, and now he can move on to even bigger and better things. Like, maybe he can get into radio one day.
Like his dad.
I don't know, David. Mr. David Whitehead, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much. Again, folks, you listen to the Craig Bushon Show live every Sunday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And then always know that we have our new CBTV online broadcast right here from my flagship studio here with Intercom. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM today. Also 95.5 HD3.
Wow, it's in HD.
Also, we stream it live at CBTV Online. And the good news is, tomorrow, we just pick it up again at 2:30 to 3:30, and then on Tuesdays, 2:30 to 3:30, exclusively on CBTV Online. So great stuff going on there. A lot of interesting things going on. Today, we're going to make some quotes from the new book coming out. David Whitehead, tell them about the book that's coming out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I am excited about this book. Craig Bushon answers those liberal leftists, the phony fascists with their fibs, the leftist liberals. That
Okay. Wait, I think we get that. Yeah, it's... Let's do this. We're going to do an excerpt, folks, of the book. I've got them in my hands right now, right here. See that? I feel like, who did this? Who did this on the air all the time? Who did that right there?
That's Rush.
Well, before Rush.
Walter Cronkite.
Well, he probably did that too. But I'm thinking more of someone in the entertainment business. Not that Walter Cronkite was not in the entertainment business. Yeah, it'd be Johnny Carson. I guess I should do this.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
Thank you. But here it is, folks. And the title of the book, David Whitehead, again, so the folks know, coming out very soon. What do we think? Probably 3 weeks or so from now?
I would say 3.5.
3.5 weeks. Okay, very good. You going to give the title of the book?
What is the title of the book? We haven't actually totally decided, have we?
Have we? Well, I think so. Yes.
I think as Craig Bushon answers the Looney leftist lies.
Okay. Yes. Dramatic. Here it is. This is from page, I don't know, because I don't know what page this is, but liberal lie. In order to have equality, we must have quotas. Here is my conservative comeback. And this is under Candid Comebacks, because you got to see that we have them broken down into Candid Comeback, Curious Comeback, Congenial Comeback. And it says, a quota is another way of saying no winners here. So think about that, folks. In order to have equality, we must have quotas. That's the liberal lie, right? That's what they say. You got to have a quota to have equality. And I say a quota is another way of saying no winners here. Because the bottom line is, folks, there are winners and there are losers. See, I don't believe in the old T-ball adage of the year 2012 that I think probably launched maybe about 10 years ago now, where everybody gets to run the bases. Everybody's equal. No tears on the, no crying in baseball, right? Unfortunately, there is. I mean, do you have to wear a cup? Well, in life, you have to wear a cup, too. Got to protect your junk, if you know what I mean. And the bottom line is, we have to understand that life is not fair. It is not equal. Matter of fact, I was at graduation yesterday, right? I was at my son's graduation, and some people had medals around their neck because there were people that had a 5.67 GPA. I don't even know that existed. I mean, that actually sounds like a liberal number to me. I don't even know how you get a 5.67, actually. I mean, back when I was in school, if you had like a 4.2, you were like a genius. A 5.67, I think, is NASA bound. A person, well, would be NASA bound. Now it would be SpaceX, because NASA no longer does anything. So,
except for the quotas.
There's a lot of quotas, no doubt about that. So that's it, folks. But also, there's a curious comeback to that. And again, the liberal lie is in order to have equality, we must have quotas. And a curious comeback is, do two wrongs make a right? Think about that, folks. And we live a life of that, don't we? Two wrongs make a right. I believe that we have got to start doing things that be damned what the circumstance is. The circumstance sometimes is that people fail and people, their life is not happy. They won't get to have cable TV, and they won't get to, run the bases, if you will, in life. Sometimes life sucks. And no matter how much the government wants to make things equal by putting quotas on who you hire or who you can fire, I mean, one of the best examples, in my opinion, of something that's completely wrong and distorts the free market and distorts what you should be able to do in a society of ours, where the cream is supposed to rise to the top, will be the teachers' union. The teachers' union, to me, is one of the most corrupt, unfair, ridiculous things to have, and for one big reason. It's because they have tenure. They push for tenure, right? You become a teacher, you can, after a certain amount of time, you're there forever, no matter what you do. Forever. And what does that do? It stops the cream from rising to the top. Once you get a job, it shouldn't be guaranteed. And again, folks, a liberal lie is in order to have equality, you must have quotas. A congenial comeback would be minorities have fought all these years to attain equality, not special treatment. Now, what does that mean? To me, it means that people are really fighting to have a successful life. And that's defined different by everybody, by the way. By everybody. But to tell people that there is a mandatory rule that because you're a particular color, a particular race, a particular age, that you have to have a specific thing, I think that puts, it's not much of a victory, is it? People work very, very hard to obtain things. Now let me tell you this, folks. There is very, very bad stuff that happens in society. There is very unfair treatment that happens in certain areas in life. And when that's found out, we need to prosecute those people because racism does exist. People, absolutely. A lot of people, once they get laid off at 50, 55 years old, God forbid, many of you are out there right now, it's very hard for you to get a job because you're older. Okay? There are circumstances that you need to have protection. But the reality is, minorities have fought all these years to attain equality, not special treatment. Think of it this way. When the first black baseball player stepped up to the plate, did they throw the ball underhanded? No.
That's kind of funny.
The bottom line is, folks, if you really took this type of equality and quotas into professional sports and judged it by the same thing we do in society, I mean, that'd be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? The Asian guy, well, I don't even know, are they minorities? See, that's another weird thing. I don't know. Think about it. It's a funny thing. Hub companies, historically underused businesses. Women are in that. Women are in hubs. They get special treatment. Women get special treatment because they're women. And they get put into a certain class in business called hub companies. Minorities, women. And what's so weird about that, there's more women than there are men.
Well, you see, the way
That's
they
strange,
define
David Whitehead.
the way they define minorities is not by the number of them, but by whether or not they think they've been discriminated against.
Okay.
And of course, when we put in quotas, what are we doing? That's reverse discrimination. You are literally, and the reason why there's no winners, as you say, is because you can't have the best person in the job now.
Right. Well, imagine, use the same analogy of the of a baseball player that is a black man who came up, and when he first came in to play many years ago, and all of a sudden they changed all the rules and the ball was slower, they pitched it underhand, the bases were close together. Of course that's not what happened.
Of course not.
And now look what's happened. This full integration of a lot of different people into professional sports. I mean, you have Samoans in football. Man, they hit, by the way. You get nailed by a Samoan, you're in like deep doo-doo.
I know.
So, you've never been hit by a Samoan.
How do you know?
Because you're still here. You know, folks, this is what you get on the Craig Bushon Show. But that's just a little excerpt from the book, and you're going to see more of that coming. And maybe a little bit later on today when we have, here's another liberal lie. Illegal aliens are no different than legal immigrants. That would be the liberal lie. Illegal aliens are no different than legal immigrants. We're going to try to get to that a little bit later on the show.
I want the truth.
Today at 2:30, I've got a very exciting guest coming on. It's from Team RWB, okay? And that's Team Red, White, and Blue. And it's an organization that does a whole lot for our veterans, and I'm very excited about having them on the show today. And they'll be on at roughly 2:30, and you're going to learn some things about this organization that's you're probably going to want to get more involved. You're going to follow them on Facebook, follow their tweets, and get involved, maybe do donation or volunteer some time, or maybe you're a veteran listening to this show. I know a lot of you listen, and God bless you. And today is a day for you to really pay attention to Team RWB, or Team Red, White, and Blue, because when I met them, very, very exciting. A friend of mine's actually involved with them also, Veronica. And so stay tuned. Roughly 2:30 today. Also, maybe we are living in biblical times. I mean, David Whitehead, you could quote the Bible.
A little.
I know. But that's
Not
more
the
than,
whole
that's
thing.
more, I didn't think you could, go from A to B, or I guess what's the beginning of the Bible?
Genesis 1:1.
Yes, Genesis with, do we have a little Genesis? We could pull up a little bit of, who's the lead singer of Genesis?
Ah.
Yes, not that Genesis.
I like that Genesis.
Yes, you're not talking about that Genesis? Anyway.
We'll go out with it.
We'll go out with it, it says. So, the reason I say this is 2 people are dead after swarms of venomous spiders invade Indian town. That's like biblical stuff. The article goes on to say that a town in India has suddenly been overrun by swarms of venomous spiders, leaving 2 people dead after being bitten. It may sound like a B-grade horror movie, folks, but residents of the town of Sadia in Assam state said that on the evening of May 8th, as they were celebrating a Hindu festival, swarms of spiders suddenly appeared and attacked them. The Times of India reported. First of all, this is May 8th, and this is a new article posted, so you talk about snail mail. I mean, they are not obviously on, I don't know, they're not tweeting this stuff. Over the next few days, 2 people, a man, a Pernicanta Burgohonian, oh my God, and an unnamed schoolboy died after being bitten by the spider. Scores more turned up at the town's hospital in spider bites. There were so many spiders, folks, that it was like you'd see in the movies. And now they're saying that it's so bad there that the district authorities are they're panicking and they're considering spraying the town with insecticides called DDT. I mean, we like outlawed DDT, didn't we? And that's what's interesting, folks. As you go into these second and third world countries, or you go into areas that don't have the technology that we have in the United States, let's say, the reason that we had pest control ever developed is because things like this happened. See, all the people who want to go back to Earth and go back to the way it was, and, you know, the Earth just can't take what we're doing. Interesting, I had a conversation with a friend of the family about this, and I always like having conversations about things like this because this is real. Because the fact of the matter is that these spiders are invading a town in India, and that also happened here in the United States, where they would attack, you know, cornfields and lettuce fields and many different fields where we had food, and we couldn't stop them. You know, we couldn't talk them out of it. You know, they're not listening to us when we try to sweet talk the bugs from eating our food. Well, in this case, spiders attacking people. And what did we do? We developed chemicals that killed them because nothing else killed them. What are you going to do? It's so amazing to me, you know, that we tend to forget why we have some of this stuff. Now, make no mistake, some of these things are overused. Some of these chemicals are not disposed of correctly. That is a fact, and we need to deal with that. But I'm not willing to cut my nose off to spite my face. The more we get away from using some of the technologies that we've had to have in the past, because of we've done such a good job of eradicating some of these issues that we think we don't need them anymore. And the case in point is, you notice the spinach factories and the lettuce recalls and the spinach recalls over the last few years have been done at places that don't use any chemicals. Okay? They use natural stuff, natural fertilizers. So I think it's an interesting article. That now they can't get this contained, so they're not using chemicals. Because in the end, folks, that's what we had to do. So to think that we're not going to have to use chemicals to keep our society free of bugs, rodents, otherwise you get disease, is craziness. So I thought that was very interesting. And it could be biblical. Maybe we are on the end of times. I don't know. Also, China's slowed growth puts focus on stimulus. Now, what's interesting about that, folks, is that China, there's new evidence of continued declaration in China's economic growth that it raises concerns amongst some economists that the government's stimulus efforts may be too limited to slow and prevent a further slump in the world's second largest economy. Now, think about that for a moment. The people who lend us money because we're so in debt we can't afford it is like going out of business. They actually have their own stimulus now that they have to have so they can keep their economy going. Well, then where are we going to get our money from? Online at the Wall Street Journal says the latest gloomy data arrived Friday with key business sentiment surveys pointing to a deteriorating conditions in the manufacturing sector. Boy, that sounds interesting. America's had a decline in manufacturing, I don't know, like a long time. China's officials' purchasing managers index fell to 50.4 in May from 53.3 in April, close to the 50 mark that separates growth from contraction. Meanwhile, the HSBC market PMI, which slipped to 48.4 from 49.3, pointed the worsening conditions for small private firms and exporters. Folks, it's a domino effect. Please know that what's going on within the global economy, which I've never agreed with, by the way. I'm on record to say that I don't agree with the global economy. But people push back at me. I remember in 1999, I said this on the air. Maybe it was 2000. I said, you know, going to a global economy is insanity to me because you just don't. Heck, we can't get our own economy right, and now we want to import other people's economy. Yeah, like the euro. How's that working out for everybody? How's the euro doing? See, that's the problem with China right now, is that they were so in bed with the euro that now the euro is dying. I mean, Greece, forget about it. This is a global economy. Here's what I think is going to happen. The dominoes are going to fall because you can't stop it. There's a saying, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And there's some good news to this, folks. There's some good news because every single one of you out there who were born in this country and those of you who came here legally, you know, the difference is the ones who were born here did not make a conscious decision to be born here. You were just born here through the grace of God. Now, the other people, many, many people in this country came here. They came in through Ellis Island, for example. Members of my family on my mother's side did that. Okay? And most people did. Lots of people did. They made a conscious decision to come here. And God bless them for that. And a lot of people want to come here because there's a lot of great opportunity. But let's go beyond the great opportunity. Because there is a lot of great opportunity. It's a great think tank. I mean, look what Einstein did. He defected in World War II, and what did that do? It helped us, you know, amongst other scientists, helped us what? Win the war, World War II, because it's a great place to think. America is designed specifically to harness and grow, incubate great ideas. But even that isn't as big a deal to me as my next statement. We're the only nation of magnitude, you know, that has a few 100 million people in it, that could survive and needs nothing from anybody else. And I know some people go, oh, that's crazy, that's Craig. We need more. We need something from somebody. No, we don't. We don't. Because if what you really need is food, you need water. And you need energy. That's all you really need in science, because if you get sick, you know, you might get appendicitis. We're the only country that can survive. So the pressure is really on the other parts of the world who can't do what we can do. You know, the one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, part of the blessing that we have is that, you know, this is, to me, it's like this chosen land in a sense. And the proof is that all the abundancy of everything that we have. We don't need food from anybody. We don't need water from anybody. We don't need energy from anybody. We have the strongest military in the world. We have all of these things going for us. You don't think there's a lot of other people pissed off about that? Of course they are. Heck, the Middle East is living in the Old Testament. Make no mistake, we're not perfect. Yeah. What was this, about 1982? Maybe?
86.
Oh, 86. Sorry, thank you very much. So nice.
Invisible Touch.
Yeah.
Genesis.
Yeah. A little bit of Genesis. Folks, when we come back, part of the reason that we, you know, can have these freedoms is because we are the red, white, and blue. And Team RWB is coming on. I'm very excited about that because if it wasn't for our military, you know, let's make no mistake. The only reason that we get to do the things we do in this country, the biggest reason, is because we have the best and most committed military to ever exist. And this is Craig Bushon. When we come back, Team RWB in studios. We'll be back.
planning to buy, sell, or lease a home? Members of the Austin Board of Realtors can assess the value of homes, negotiate pricing, and help navigate financing options. Realtors are your advantage in real estate transactions, and realtors work by a strict code of ethics.
Talk to your realtor or visit austinhomesearch.com today to start searching for property to buy, sell, or lease. It pays to work with a realtor. Brought to you by the Austin Board of Realtors.
Walton and Johnson.
I take you to the University of Texas in Austin. The commencement for the 2012 program. The forthcoming graduates has contained a typo. They're missing one little letter. Lyndon B. Johnson, School of Pubic Affairs.
You know, if you really knew LBJ, that was closer than you might want to think.
Mornings 5:30 to 10 on the new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.
CBS News Update. I'm Jim Taylor. Bail revoked, back behind bars. The neighborhood watch volunteer who shot and killed an unarmed teenager in Florida then angered a judge there by being perhaps less than truthful about his finances. CBS's Peter King in Orlando.
One of the biggest issues here is the credibility of George Zimmerman. Obviously, there are two people who know exactly what happened the night Trayvon Martin was shot and killed, but Zimmerman is the only one still alive to talk about it. The question is, if he indeed lied about the money in the defense fund, will a jury believe him when he says that Trayvon Martin attacked him rather than it being the other way around?
About achieving bail again? George Zimmerman's attorney, Mark O'Mara, concedes it could be an uphill battle.
If you look at the statute, I think he is still entitled to a bond. However, having put something in front of the judge, what the judge relied on, that may not have been fully true, is going to cause a concern. He's going to have to address that with the court.
CBS News Update. I'm Jim Taylor.
Wake up to some seriously funny entertainment.
You ready to come back?
Walton and Johnson, 5:30 to 10.
Walton and Johnson.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.
This is Dr. Phil, and we're back. Madam, I understand you had a nervous disorder that caused you to speak in a high voice, but was cured by Craig Bushon.
Yes, I lived in a world of turmoil, a life of worry. It was so bad. But then I began listening to the Craig Bushon show, and my worries left me, and my voice returned to normal. I'm cured.
You mean this is your normal voice?
Yes, well, it used to be so high only dogs and liberals could hear it. Thank you, Craig Bushon.
The Craig Bushon Show. The Craig Bushon Show.
We send the military all over the world to protect borders, and yet we don't protect our own?
But that's on purpose, Sheriff Mack. That's on purpose. It's not possible. You know how many veteran friends I have? A lot.
Well,
I mean, SF guys. I mean, guys like say, Craig, let's make no mistakes. Some of my teams, make no mistake. There'd be no issues on the borders, but they're handcuffed.
My brain is always ticking. My brain is always ticking. My brain is always ticking, as long as I am live and kicking.
Yeah. Welcome back to the top show. Your number one general talk, politics, and opinions. Thank you so much, and thank you for your applause. And I always want to thank Jonathan and Casey for all they do for my show. I have a lot of moving and shaking going on. As you know, I have 3 cameras in studio now, and we pump this in, the highest definition quality we can through CB TV Online, okay? And always know you're listening to us live right now on 95.5, but it is actually HD3 though, folks. Okay, so if you have a high definition car radio, 95.5 HD3, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, and again on CB TV Online.
Wow, it's in HD.
But as you know, I was just talking about it before I went to break, I get kind of, I get emotional. And especially when we talk about this great country and the great things that are affecting us. And as I mentioned before I went to break, that our military is pretty much the reason that we can sit here today and do what we're doing. It isn't like the great leadership of our policymakers, okay? It's because we're able to make so many mistakes in government and still live to fix them, God willing, because we have such a great and strong military that can, push the people away. Hopefully, we can keep that going. But it doesn't go without its costs. And as you know, I'm heavily involved with Heroes Night Out and other organizations that are strong supporters of our veterans and their families. And now I'm very excited about having Team RWB in. How are you, Veronica?
I'm doing great, Craig. How are you?
It's a beautiful day.
It is.
Hey, what's exciting in your life? First of all, introduce who else we have in studio here today.
I have Vincent Petrucci. Is it right?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that last name. I destroyed that.
That's all right. That's all right.
I kind of hesitated a little bit there, but Vincent Petrucci is currently active duty military stationed at Fort Hood, and he's a member of Team Red, White, and Blue.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. Good seeing you again, both of you. I mean, let's just get right to it. I mean, Team RWB, red, white, and blue. I always tell the folks, listen, if you cut me, I bleed red, white, and blue.
That's right.
I don't want to try to do that. Don't get me wrong. But, it's, those of us, who truly believe in our country, I mean, I love Team RWB. Now, tell a little bit about that. How did it come about, so the folks know?
Go ahead, Vincent.
Whoever wants to do it.
All right. Well, it was started by an active duty Army officer, Mike Irwin, who teaches positive psychology up at West Point now. And basically, it was his way to give back to these returning veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan who have been injured both physically and mentally, and help them get reintegrated back into society in a positive way, and maintain that camaraderie that us in the military have come to know and love.
Sure.
With a civilian advocate, we call them, in their area, and just kind of help them out, just get back into society in a healthy and positive way.
Well, the private sector has a huge responsibility, the way I look at it, because the private sector is what leads the military, and it's the private sector that sends them to do whatever they need to do.
Right.
And then things happen, and when things happen that makes someone be injured and has to come back, and not just physically, mentally. We hear a lot about PTSD, obviously TBI, and other things that we haven't even discovered yet or put acronyms on.
Right.
But the bottom line is that reassimilating back into the private sector, that can be very challenging because what I have found is interviewing people on both sides is that the military speaks a different language too. You learn something in the military, and then you may be a tanker, or you could be, I think an MP correlates to police officer pretty easy. But you get you get into other areas,
right?
You could. What do you write on the job application? I mean, even that is a struggle.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's great now. In the past recent few years, the military and the Veterans Administration, they've done a lot, and I've been through it myself. They really have started focusing on exactly that, what you're talking about, that transition. And one of the great things about Team Red, White, and Blue is that builds on that. That benefit that allows somebody to take all the great things that they've done in the military and translate that into civilian speak, if you will, so that way they can get jobs, well-paying jobs that are, that match their abilities and the things that they've learned. You take any soldier who's been in the military, be it, private or sergeant or officer, whatever the case may be, they're leaders from day one, and it's hard to get them to recognize that and have civilians recognize that when they're coming back into the civilian world, into the workforce. So a lot of that is going towards helping them, understand and helping the civilians understand that, hey, these guys are leaders and they are going to be value added to your organization, whatever it may be.
Well, I think the challenge that we have is in the military, there's a chain of command. Just like you said, you could be a private, you could be a sergeant, or you could be a lieutenant or a captain, and there's a chain of command, right? And you salute at a certain, according to that chain of command.
Right.
And if the chain above says do this, then you do it.
Right.
And here's your job, and it's on a piece of paper, and that's it, and read it, and that's so when you get up, this is what you do, and if you don't do it, then the chain of command comes and says, hey, why aren't you doing your job?
Right.
Well, the private sector. Here's where my challenge is. I push on the private sector. We don't do that very well. No. Managers typically aren't managers. People aren't as good as what they really, let me say it this way. We have a lot of people who have moved up through the ranks in the private sector who don't have the specific skill sets that it says on their business card, for example, and they're not good leaders.
Right.
Okay, and when you go, some of the challenges I see with some of my friends that have been in, say, one's a Marine, went at 18, and then comes out at 29 years old. Seen a lot of war in the last 10 and a half years, by the way. And but also a chain of command. They understand it. And if here's the title of the job, this is what you do. Private sector does not do that very well. I'm telling you. And I see that there could be a lot learned by the private sector if they take some of the skill sets, that leadership that people learn in the military, and allow it to come in and help us in the private sector.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think the benefit of Team Red, White, and Blue's advocate program is just that. You know, we're pairing these wounded veterans with their civilian counterpart, be it in business, local business or a leader in their community or whatever the case may be, and having them, being that advocate is that soldiers or service members inroad to that organization or community or whatever the case is. So that way the community or organization is not familiar with what benefits military members have, that advocate can help them understand a little bit better and do exactly what you said, match the right person to the right job. So that way they don't overlook just because somebody's 17 or 20 years old coming out of the military. They have quite a bit of experience, especially now with all the wars. And some of those 20-year-old kids, they're out there earning silver stars by leading a small team or whatever the case may be. You definitely will not find that level of ability in another 20-year-old that's just coming out of college or whatever the case is, or just entering into the workforce.
And again, folks, we're speaking about Team RWB. Go to teamrwb.org. We'll try to get it put up also. I'll see if Casey can get it up so you can see it up on the screen. But I also put it up on Facebook. And the bottom line is
Facebook.
We, the people. I keep saying that crazy thing. Those three crazy words.
You're such a radical.
And I get pushback. I'm telling you, I get pushback from people going, well, come on, Craig, you're too stringent on that. No, it is. We the people. We're all in this together. So how'd you get involved?
I got involved because I'm a military brat. My dad served in the Army, and my brother is currently serving in the Air Force, and he has been diagnosed with PTSD. There's a big stigma that comes with that, Craig, and we are working really hard to let these men and women know that we don't agree with that stigma.
Right. I think the disorder, a friend of mine who's former SF, we sat down for a while, and now he's in private security. And I hate to say former, but, he's like not carrying around his tools every day on a job, okay? But he is in the private security industry, and the bottom line is that there are skill sets there that even transfer over. But we talked about PTSD, the D for disorder. Right. And now they're looking at dropping that. I know there's legislation out there. There's people pushing to drop disorder. And I've also pushed that battered children also have post-traumatic stress. This is not something new. It's just that we've diagnosed it now because we have a large cycle of young Americans, male and now even female, obviously, who are sitting there on front lines, and we're fighting very unconventional warfare. Okay, the IEDs and all things that we see now are different than what we've seen in the past. And it seems like the stronger we make our Humvees, the stronger we make our vehicles, the more intense those, obviously, the counter reaction is. But to go back to the original point, that dropping the term disorder is one step.
Right.
Okay. The next one is understanding that not everyone who has PTSD, a lot of people think that, they're crazy, you got PTSD. No.
Yeah, they're not monsters.
Absolutely right. I have very good friends of mine that are 100%. And normally 100%, folks, is like a good thing. Like an A on your test. Well, in this, it's graded. Think of it from 10 to 100%. And as you move up that scale, the government, because they're spending money, has to put a percentage on it because that's just what they do. Right, and it's about dollar bills. And then also, there's another big thing that when people see that, then they go, I can't hire you because there's definitely something wrong with you. And that's not it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not. Most of the time, that isn't true. And I'm not to say that there aren't people out there that are severely affected where it's hard for them to even leave their house. That does exist.
Yes.
No doubt about it. But, we have to start working harder to get people to understand that because you have PTS, post-traumatic stress, you are you can be hired and do a very, very good job, and the skill sets, like we talked about in the military, they transfer over, and that's the goal of Team RWB. That's one of the things. Now I also see you're running out there, you're riding bikes. I see your bicycles logoed up. Talk about the athletic side of this.
Yeah. Well, the athletic side of it, it just engages them, allows them to challenge themselves all over again. Like for me, it actually got me moving a lot more. Like I was active before, but joining Team White and Blue, it just inspired me that much more. I wear the eagle. I can guarantee you I run faster.
I got to get one of those cool shirts, by the way. At some point. Large, extra large is fine. But the fact is, getting out there and getting involved, we learned at Heroes Night Out that being able to allow people to be themselves is also a big deal.
Right.
Okay. And that we call it the green zone, okay? And because obviously the green zone for the people who serve, that's the safe place to be, right? In a sense, all guns out, or supposed to be, right? But the bottom line is that we try to allow people to be themselves as much as possible. And then if we do find that somebody is really bad off and they really need some additional assistance that we can't do, we have access for them.
Right.
And so that's why I'm very excited about what you're doing. What's the next big event coming up? How do people get involved? They're listening right now. What can they do to get involved with Team RWB?
Well, if they're on Facebook, we have a Texas page, or we have our nationwide page, which is teamredwhiteandblue.org. Or they can just go on the website, teamredwhiteandblue.org. There's a section there that says get involved. You can either do the advocate involvement or the athletic involvement.
When's the next event coming up? I see you guys have a bike ride coming up. Do you have anything that I could say would make me go out and have to do something athletic? Because I need to do that.
You, Craig?
Yes, me.
You're going to go out?
I'll go. I'll be there. Wait,
as long as you wear your shirt.
Now, David, would you go?
I'll go and watch.
Go and watch.
The good thing about this, in my opinion, is there doesn't have to be an organized event that's going on. The great part about that is, if you know of a local event that your community's holding, whatever the case is, you can go on, become an athlete with Team Red, White, and Blue, and then create your fundraising page, and then just put that event in as a kind of an extra thing, and start raising awareness that way. Talking it up to your friends and family in that local area community, and then that's a way to get people involved. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an organized event, although some of the bigger organized events, Team Red, White, and Blue does kind of create teams and things like that, where we'll all kind of get together and run and sport the eagle, show the eagle, and let people know what it's all about.
Sure.
And, what we're all about.
I love the logo, by the way. I love the name. I mean, you had me at hello.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I saw that, and I'm like, this is awesome. And then obviously with the people involved, it's fantastic. But obviously we're on camera. You came in studio.
Right.
You've got a cane.
I do.
What's going on? What happened?
Well, the cane is part of my physical injuries from deployment. But those, in my opinion, those are easy to deal with. They got medicine and therapies and all that kind of stuff. And something I'd like to highlight is PTSD, like you were talking about.
Sure.
I've been diagnosed with PTSD. I'm being treated for it and everything. And it's a process to get through. Like you said, it's not just because somebody's been diagnosed doesn't necessarily mean that they're monsters. They're going to go out and wreak havoc on whatever the case, on the community or anything. So, it's good for me to help others. I've found that very therapeutic to get involved and help others, because I try to live by, there's somebody's always worse off than me. It could always be worse. So I try to take that positive look and pass that on to others, that are definitely worse off than I am. So, the volunteering and getting active, and I can't really run too much anymore, but, I can do other things such as this, coming on your show and volunteering at the Heroes Night Out barbecue that we had and down at the Cap Tex Try that we did last weekend, so, or over the Memorial Day holiday. So, that's part of my healing. That's what I'm focusing on at this point, to try to get that stigma, like Veronica was talking about, away from PTSD as a negative thing, and it just treated as anything, any other kind of disease or injury or disorder that somebody may have.
Well, talking about it is very important.
Sure.
This is a talk show. This is an athletic event. for the mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've had people on the show that that served, that when they got deployed were out there a month and got shot and are paralyzed, are in a wheelchair, and I've had them on the show, and it being able to talk about it, and then think just what you said, almost exactly the same words. I know when I come on today, there's going to be someone out there who could be listening that's worse off than me in an even darker place.
Right. Yeah.
And when I can help shine that light in that dark place, you know, part of the reason, you know, suicide is huge.
Right.
Very, very, very high.
It is.
The last DOD report I read, it's scary.
Right.
And then also divorce rates.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all real stuff that we have to deal with.
Right.
And so that's why I appreciate, you know, someone like yourself, obviously, going out there and serving for this country. Thank you, and God bless you for doing that.
I appreciate that.
And we're behind you. Know that you are not alone.
Thank you.
You are not. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah.
We are here. Now, there's bad people out there, people who don't listen. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, we have to get out. We have to talk with people.
Right.
And this show will be up and archived, and I'll make sure you get a copy of it too. Okay. And I'll give you a couple more minutes here. Just talk to the people out there. Talk directly to the veteran that you think needs to hear it. Just tell them what they think you think they need to hear right now. Go right ahead.
Really, the thing is, and I know a lot of veterans out there, be it at Fort Hood where I'm at, or any other military base, you know, throughout the world, you know, there's help. There's help there for you. You don't have to rely on the medication. Medication will help you get past the initial parts, but then getting involved in a team red, white, and blue, for instance, or some other type of organization, getting out there, getting healthy again, getting into some sort of physical activity, you know, that stuff has proven to wean you off and not make you rely so heavily on that medication, you know. And there's always people that will be willing to listen to you. They'll be willing to help you out. Regardless of what your situation is, you know, be it family, friends, or somebody that you may have just met. You know, one of the things that Team Red, White, and Blue is about is the community, the camaraderie, you know, that like I said, we've come to know and love in the military. Being an online-based organization, there's chapters all over the country, and it's very easy to get in touch with folks on Team Red, White, and Blue and the advocate system and all those kinds of things. And, you know, just reaching out and taking the first step is the hardest thing. It was very hard for me to take the first step and seek help for my mental injuries, you know, PTSD and that kind of thing. So don't assume wrongly that you are alone. Because I'm going through a particular program right now called the Reset Program, which is up in Fort Hood, run by the military, and it's amazing how many people in the groups that we attend have the exact same issues that I'm going through right now, and say the exact same words and have the exact same feelings that I'm having right now as well. So you're not alone. That's the biggest thing. You're not alone. There's somebody out there that can relate to what you're feeling and can relate to where you've been and help you out through whatever it is you're going through.
Well, there you have it, folks. I mean, get involved. All right? Just get involved. Go to the website. Go to teamrwb.org.
Craig, let me show you something.
Yes, please do. And when you go there, hey, look at this. Wait a minute.
Here's our shirt.
Hey, look at that. I like that.
And on the back it says, supporting wounded veterans.
Yes.
And on behalf of Team Red, White, and Blue, this is for you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I will wear this proudly, as a matter of fact. I'm going to...
While you're running.
Yes.
Only when you're
he just pushed me. You know, it's not good enough that I wear the shirt anymore. Now I'm hooked that I have to... You know, I used to run years ago, and then I decided... not to run anymore. It's almost a Forrest Gump thing. But
you got to make that eagle fly.
I will. As a matter of fact, I absolutely will wear this proudly. And I'm going to actually wear this tomorrow on the air. And I'm going to talk about you also again. I want you to stay in touch with the show, please.
We will.
You know how to get a hold of me, Veronica.
Yes, I do.
Just get me involved. Push me. I know David will show up. David Whitehead, are you committed?
I'm committed.
Good.
I want to put their info on my door to my office.
Well, there you go.
Oh, awesome. Thank you very much.
You know, so, ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention. to what's going on at Team RWB, teamrwb.org. Thank you both for coming in today.
Thank you.
We'll make sure that we get this posted up, and we also put it up to Facebook, too, from CBTV Online. Then you can take it and cut the segment out and do whatever you want with it.
Great. Yeah.
Get it out there.
Can I say hi to my family real quick?
Say hi to anyone you want. Go right ahead.
My wife is watching online, so I want to say hi to Dana and Joe and Matthew out there. Thank you so much for supporting me. Family, to me, is the number one, the number one way that I can get past the issues that I have, and they're always there for me, and I know that. So I want to thank them. Yeah. They're really behind me.
Yeah, family,
solidly.
you know, we'll have to have you back on because I want to talk about the family side of this. And I've done other shows on it. The family is a key element to healing.
Definitely.
And I just take note also that it's not just for our veterans. Families are more than welcome to get involved with Team Red, White, and Blue. You know, my mother being a lot of times she was a single mom. You know, my father was out in the field, you know, doing his training. So we want to get wives, children, anybody who wants to get involved with Team Red and Blue, support the Eagle. They're always
because these shirts come in all sizes.
Yes, they do.
Even real small ones.
We have
little
onesies.
Kids.
Yeah,
I saw
there's a sleep sack.
I had the little kids I saw out there at Heroes Night Out.
Yeah.
Fantastic, folks. Please, we're all in this together. I say it and I say it and I say it. Action, not words. I believe in. Listen, we're here right now. We're talking about it. You are not alone. If you are a spouse out there, okay, and you feel alone, you are not alone. I promise you, we're here for you. Go to teamrwb.org. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you again for having us. This is great.
Absolutely. We'll do it again absolutely soon. And, folks, when we come back, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to focus a little bit more on, I don't know, David, you may not want to talk about this. You know, China. And China's got some problems. But I think the way to fix that is, I think that you've done some things. You've written some stuff. You assist people with getting information out there, Mr. David Whitehead. Is that true?
Yes, you are correct, sir.
Thank you. When we come back, we're going to have a little bit of information from Mr. David Whitehead that might be able to help us cure some of these issues that are out there plaguing us in the world. Yeah. Thank you so much, folks. We'll be right back.
Insightful political commentary to seriously funny entertainment. Seriously funny. The new Talk Radio 96.3, 1370. KJCE Rolling Austin, KKMJ FM HD3 Austin, and K244CC Austin.
June 1836, and sneaky Texans win the day.
This Week in Texas History brought to you by Austin's Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370 and the Save Texas History program of the General Land Office.
June 3rd, 1836, near Copano Bay. Alerted to the arrival of an unknown ship offshore, Major Isaac Burton and 30 mounted volunteers arrived to investigate. Partially hidden by the dunes, they signal the ship for help. The ship sends a rowboat while raising a Mexican flag. Burton's men use the small boat to return and commandeer the ship. The schooner Watchman, loaded with supplies for the Mexican troops. Once on board, Burton and his men shrewdly use the Watchman to capture 2 more Mexican vessels. The booty is taken to Galveston, and the unlikely heroes are dubbed Horse Marines. Texas Horse Marines went to sea 176 years ago this week in Texas history.
Learn more at savetexashistory.org or call 800-998-4GLO.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370. Here's another Consumer Affairs Minute.
Well, hey, you know, it's not just politicians who talk out of both sides of their mouths. Many of the nation's biggest corporations say one thing about climate science, you know, global warming, in public while taking contradictory action behind the scenes. In a new report, the Union of Concerned Scientists finds that 28 big companies say one thing publicly while secretly working to undermine efforts to combat climate change. Well, gas prices are going down, and so are used car prices, at least for compacts. When gas prices were going up, everybody was trying to buy a used gas zipper, which drove prices up. Now that gas prices are going down again, hey, let the good times roll, right? Get a big family truckster and, well, hope for the best. If you take Adderall, be careful. The FDA warns there's a batch of counterfeit drugs out there that don't contain the right ingredients, which could spell big trouble. Check with your pharmacist to be sure the one you're using is okay.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.
Marrying your phone and your dashboard. I'm Brian Cooley on Cars from CNET. It's called MirrorLink, a new technology that will copy or mirror what's on your smartphone screen onto the screen in your car's dashboard, making the phone's information bigger, easier to read at a glance, and more stable to operate. The first smartphone that'll do this, to be sold in the U.S., is the Samsung Galaxy S3. It arrives summer of 2012. Now, so far, just a couple of aftermarket car stereos will support MirrorLink, and no factory built-in systems yet. But that Galaxy S3 is the most researched new phone on CNET in the last couple of months, so its popularity will help make MirrorLink known. Key question for me is how the various manufacturers of phones and cars will decide what gets displayed on the dash and how it can be used. Just making the dashboard a bigger version of a device already blamed for dangerous distraction is a lateral at best. Find me on Facebook.com/AskCNET. I'm Brian Cooley.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370. Opinions matter. Give us yours by taking our talk poll. Online, talk1370.com. 1370.
CBS News, I'm Jim Taylor. Back in jail. Florida neighborhood watch volunteer George Zimmerman ordered back behind bars, bail revoked by a judge, angered at a less than truthful accounting of his finances. His attorney, Mark O'Mara.
He understands the court's concerns. He understands the state's concerns, and we're going to address those and say what I think needs to be said to address them with Judge Lester.
University of Florida law professor Michael Siegel says Zimmerman has not helped himself.
He was under oath when he testified before the court as to his financial condition, and a prior lie indicates his lack of credibility, and that is admissible.
Zimmerman charged in the shooting death of unarmed teenager Trayvon Martin in February. He was one of the funniest, friendliest to ever host a game show.
We surveyed 100 people. The top 5 answers are on the board to this question.
Richard Dawson on Family Feud. Chicago Tribune media critic Phil Rosenthal.
It wasn't the questions that were so oddball on Family Feud. It was what some people would answer. And since the question was what other people like you think, it gave a great range for him to give the reaction shot, to look around and go, are you kidding me?
Before the feud, he made a name for himself as a regular on Hogan's Heroes. Richard Dawson, dead at the age of 79. Firefighters still battling the biggest forest fire in New Mexico history. 380 square miles now of the Gila National Forest in cinders.
We're building containment lines around this fire, working with helicopters to help maintain a lower intensity by conducting burnout operations on the ground.
Fire spokeswoman Brianna McGee says the fire is 17% contained. Just over 5 months before the November election. And
it's campaign game on, with a little question of exactly what game.
We are living in the Obama economy.
Reince Priebus is the Republican National Committee chairman.
I'm not disagreeing there were challenges, but what I am telling you is that he made everything worse.
From the other side, senior Obama campaign strategist David Axelrod on the Romney argument and record as Democrats see it.
What we're arguing is whether he's qualified to call himself a job creator. That's not what he did in his business, and it's certainly not what he did in Massachusetts.
Those bullet points on CBS's Face the Nation. Tom Foti, CBS News, Washington.
Anger in Cairo over the life sentence handed down to former President Hosni Mubarak. Many want death. Prosecutors are planning an appeal there. Plane crash in the capital of Nigeria happened in Lagos. CBS News aviation transportation safety analyst Mark Rosanker.
The NTSB will probably send, since it was an American-built aircraft, an accredited representative to help in the investigation, and that is an important aspect for us to understand exactly what happened.
Slammed into a densely populated part of the city. Upwards of 150 people on board, all dead. No word yet on victims on the ground. This is CBS News.
At Advance Auto Parts, we don't do anything just part way. We go full throttle. We don't just put parts on sale. Oh, no. We've flooded our store with deals on the products you need. When you buy any set of Wherever Gold brake pads and 2 Wherever rotors, you'll get a $15 Amex gift card by mail. Just one of the unbeatable deals right now. Only at Advance Auto Parts. Yeah, let that soak in. Service is our best part. Advance Auto Parts. Void where prohibited. See store for details.
Hands can do incredible things. They made every sound in this piece of music. But nothing compares to using them to help save a life. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. It's called hands-only CPR, and it's recommended by the American Heart Association. Visit handsonlycpr.org today. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
God save the Queen.
The Queen was cheered, tooted, and serenaded.
I believe so.
For more than 4 hours, Her Majesty, smiling and waving, was regal on the deck of the royal barge despite the cold and driving rain. Looking chilled in her white spring outfit, she donned a shawl and kept dry under a canopy. Yet for the Queen, for the 1,000 boats in the flotilla, and the drenched hundreds of thousands watching along the route, nothing could dampen the occasion. Larry Miller, CBS News, London.
And now a story about another queen who's not nearly so nice as Elizabeth. Rather dark version of Snow White.
Are you ready to go?
Mirror on the wall, who is fairest of them all?
It's the most watched movie this weekend. $56 million at the box office. I'm Jim Taylor, CBS News.
This paid promotional programming is brought to you by Focus Media Team.
Information that matters.
I'm suspending the campaign, but suspending the campaign does not mean suspending citizenship.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370. The Craig Bushon Show. The Craig Bushon Show.
Come on. All right, this is a close game. Dollar values are doubled. This could decide it. 300 is the magic number, and here we go. 100 people surveyed. Top 4 answers on the board. This is the question. Name something new mothers spend most of their time doing. Yeah.
The Craig Bushon Show.
Yeah, folks, you got the power. No doubt about it. You listen to this program. It's about empowering you. You know, Richard Dawson. Wow. Gone. David Whitehead.
I loved Richard Dawson.
Dawson is gone.
I loved Family Feud.
Gosh. You know, how old was he? Does it say?
79, I think.
79 years old.
Yes.
Yep, 79. Family Feud and host of Hogan's Heroes. Star dies, folks. Mr. Richard Dawson at age of 79 years old. And it just also reminds us when stuff like this happens is how mortal we really are. See, a lot of times we feel immortal because, you know, when people, you know, life goes by, ticks by, and on television, in the movies, nobody ages. So you can go back and watch Running Man, I think, that he also was in.
The Running Man, yes.
Running Man was another great flick with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, we'll talk about he's going to be in the new, what is that movie?
He's in the new King of Kings movies.
Expendables, with Chucky Norris.
The new King of Kings.
Yeah, that too?
Yes, because he says to his disciples, I'll be back.
I'll be back, yes. But, you know, Richard Dawson passes away, and that's part of my childhood and my young adulthood that passed away. You know, kissing women on the lips that were, you know, on Family Feud. I mean, that guy was a player. I mean, he didn't even care if they were married, man. He was kissing mamas, daughters, aunts. He was kissing them all.
That's why they went on the show.
Is that what it's, to kiss Richard Dawson?
I think so.
And who's the guy that replaced him? I forget him. I didn't like him. Actually, more than one replaced him.
Ray Combs. About 5 people in a row.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch there.
Survey said.
No.
It was Ray Combs.
Yeah, Ray Combs. Okay, well, nobody did it like Richard Dawson. Right. And God rest his soul, you know. It's like Dick Clark, you know. Nobody did it like Dick Clark. Ryan Seacrest, is he the next Dick Clark? No. He's going to be Ryan Seacrest, who maybe will learn something from what Dick Clark did.
Maybe.
And so, as you know, folks, on this program, we try to bring you some relevant news, relevant information. And, you know, just like we had with Team RWB. But right now I have on the line Wes. I want to bring Wes on. Wes, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to say thanks to Team RWB. They do great things, and obviously thanks to you and the Focus Media team for all the advocate work you do for our military and their families as well. People like you that help those young men and women coming back home. So
Big
Well,
kudos to you and your show, buddy.
Well, I thank you so much for that, and and that's what it's all about. It's about bringing everybody together. It's about bringing all the voices out from the dark places and the minds, and a lot of that has to do with us in the private sector. We have got to start opening our minds up and our love. David, this is life is about compassion too, and it's about just like Wes is saying, the team, the Focus Media team, what we do within our media company, we could just do it all self-servingly and, not allow people to come in without having to go through a lot of hoops and pay a lot of money. No, that's not what it's about. In life, we have got to take our assets and provide space for people to drive traffic to the people who need help from we the people. I just truly believe that.
You're correct.
Thank
I
you
agree.
so much, because we can't depend on our government helping, and they're dropping the ball all the time, and it's folks like you that pick it up and run with it and make things happen. So God bless you.
Well, I sure appreciate it, Wes, and I thank you so much for calling in today, because it's guys like Wes who pay attention, who also know that if they don't pick up a phone and they don't make a phone call and they don't say, hey, this is the type of good stuff that needs to be done out there, then, it feels like we talk into a vacuum, and I know a lot of people out there feel that, when I say a lot of people, David, I mean just regular citizens feel there's nothing that they can do. They feel that what am I going to do that's going to help any of the problems that are out there? The government's going to take care of it. And like Wes said, no, the government's not going to take care of it. The government does a very, very poor job on both sides to fix the major issues that have to do with you can't legislate compassion. You can't legislate love. You can't legislate, taking care of each other. I don't care what anyone says. That's something that we have to do within ourselves, David.
Right. They're trying to, though, aren't they?
Oh, yes, they are. Yeah. But how's that going to work out for us? Probably not too well. Because you can't make people hug you, folks. It's impossible to make somebody hug you and really mean it. You can feel the difference, when somebody wraps their arms around you and truly gives you a hug without saying a word, that energy, when it's true compassion. And that's why I do the stuff that I do with Heroes Night Out. That's why I do the stuff with this program. That's what we do with the Focus Media team. David Whitehead, this is a very good segue to talk about what you do. A lot of you don't realize, David just kind of showed up on my show, okay? Now, he's a friend of mine off the air, okay? But he does some specific things and has specific skill sets that some of you need to use, A, and B, read for sure. And you're probably thinking, well, what's he talking about? David, this is a great chance for you to talk a little bit about what you do, okay? And I know you even brought in a few things. We can show. That's the great thing about having cameras in studio, huh?
I love cameras.
Yes. So tell the folks, the floor is yours. Go right ahead.
Well, folks, if you go to www.greatbooksforconservatives.com, you will find a number of books that are for sale. And not just by me, but by some other folks, too. Some folks that I've helped write their books, some folks that I've helped market their books. But what we are trying to do with Great Books for Conservatives is we're trying to help conservative activists and show them ways that they can be more effective. For example, for those of you who are precinct chairman or would like to be precinct chairman, we have the Aggressive Precinct Chairman's Book of Ideas, Hints, Tips, and Suggestions. Those are basically outside-the-box ideas and ways of doing things that are just a little different. Maybe sometimes things that are the mainstream way of doing things aren't conducive to your way of doing things, your way of thinking. So we have ideas, hints.
Awesome. Okay, we're ready.
And it's not really just for precinct chairman. It's also for really anybody who wants to be a conservative activist. And there's a number of things we have on the website for conservative activists. A good friend of mine, Don Zimmerman, he has a book, How to Swing Votes. Just a few minutes every now and then, you can help to swing votes. And really, sometimes all it takes is swinging a few so that we can really make a difference. Especially when, some of those races are really tight. If you've gotten out there and done some of the things that get just 1 or 2% of the people, well, that's all it takes. And then we've got some other things here like, here's my favorite because this is the one that I spend the most time doing. The Gun Rights Answer Book, 99 Ways to Effectively Argue for Our Gun Rights. Now, Sean, you know I'm big on the Second Amendment.
Yeah, Sean would know that. Yeah.
If I call you Sean again, would you just kick me? Now,
ahead.
Craig.
Yes, go ahead.
You know that I'm big on the Second Amendment.
I am.
You're big on the Second Amendment.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that we tend to do, you talk all the time about giving people their dignity, the people that we disagree with.
Yes.
And we're not going to win them to our side if we're not giving them their dignity. And we are not going to, if we argue and hit people over the head with the things that we believe, we're never going to win them over. That's not effective. So we have to learn to take our arguments in such a way and present them in such a way to the other folks that they can understand what we're trying to say and use effective ways of techniques of persuasion to get them to see what we're saying and get them to believe it and get them to act upon it. I wasn't always a big Second Amendment guy. My uncle, throughout a couple of years' time, little bit by little bit, would drop little effective arguments on me.
Sure.
Now and then.
He seasoned your skillet.
He seasoned my skillet. I like that. I'm writing that one down.
Very good.
Telling everyone I made it up.
Good. Perfect.
But since it's my birthday today, and I'm 49 years old, I thought I would pick number 49 out of this book and share a little with you.
Put a little music here.
I heard that.
Do you like that?
I like that.
Yeah. A little Christmas music. It's almost like we knew you were going to bring up your birthday.
How did you know I was going to bring
David,
up my birthday?
Just,
because I've done it every day for the last week.
It's what we do.
Well, number 49, guns in the hands of law-abiding citizens have saved far more lives than have been lost in accidental shootings. All the time we are told, we need a gun ban because, of all the accidental gun deaths, all the gun deaths out there. Well, what if I told you that guns in the hands of law-abiding citizens save far more lives than they take? We're told that there's 43,000 traffic deaths every year.
Yep, that's right.
And have we ever really thought about the fact that vehicles, on the other hand, save more lives than they take?
Sure. Look at an ambulance.
Look at an ambulance. Look at a fire truck.
That's right.
Look at the police vehicle when he comes to save your life sometimes from the bad guy. Well, there's been 14 separate studies, Craig, that show us that, or have shown us that there's anywhere between a million and 2.5 million DGUs a year. A DGU, well, what was a DGU? It was a defensive gun use that saved lives, save our property.
Sure.
And that's per year.
Right.
That's far more than the lives that are taken. And when you also take into account that 2/3 of all the lives lost in the United States every year through guns, 2/3 of them are criminals killing other criminals.
Right. Absolutely. But that's where the numbers get fuzzy, where you go from misinformation and disinformation, like we were talking about earlier.
Precisely.
Off the air. There's a lot of stats that are thrown out there without, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. And you get down into the real DNA of the statistics, where the facts and the education, if it's not fact-based, it's really a lie. And a lot of the gun world has been under attack, hence why the NRA has had to have such a huge push constantly defending the Second Amendment and, and the right to bear arms and the ability to stay a free nation, I believe, has a lot to do with that ability, by the way. And so I commend you for, getting involved, is one thing, joining the NRA, which we both are a member of, but also by writing a book about it and pointing out the issues so people can understand it. That's going beyond what most people do. So people need to go buy this book. Again, show that book to the folks.
Excellent. The Gun Rights Answer Book, 99 Ways to Effectively Argue for Our Gun Rights.
And again, give them the website.
The website is greatbooksforconservatives.com.
There it is, folks. I mean, Yes, we have fun. David and I have a good time, and we do a lot of stuff off the air also. But the bottom line is these books and the other authors, like Jan Goss and others, that these are good books. And you want to check them out. You want to buy it. They're very reasonably priced. And in the end, you're going to learn something, and education is key.
Some e-books as well.
All
of these have e-books
right.
as well. And some fun books books for conservatives.
If you have a tablet, you could read it right on your tablet then.
That's right, like a Big Chief.
There it is. Thank you, David Whitehead.
Thank you.
It's good stuff. And speaking of books, like I promised, I'm going to pull an excerpt from the book that I have coming out that David and I have been working on for quite some time. And it's, we focus on liberal lies, leftist lies. And that's not to pick on people who say they're Democrats, okay? Not all Democrats are uncurable. Just know that. Some aren't curable. And what does that mean? It means that they're so far left that there's no way to save them anymore. Okay? At least that's been the consensus. And others could say that's the way it is on the right. They're so far right that no matter what anyone does in the Republican Party, it's never wrong. And those people exist too. And they may not be able to be cured either. But I believe that a conservative mindset is the key to balancing your checkbook, to not doing anything into excessiveness. We have got to start conserving our money, our time, our families, our values. Don't liberally eat, don't liberally spend, don't liberally drink. You could probably liberally love, though, maybe. No, you couldn't, because that's why we have prophylactics. Sorry. I have a little joke for you.
Go ahead.
You know where rubbers live? Condominiums. Yeah, you like that? It's fun for the whole family, that one right there. I mean, that's the one that you could tell the kids. Well, you may not want to.
Ew. I don't think so, Craig.
Okay, I apologize. But we go back to the liberal lie. Here's a liberal lie from my book that's coming out soon. It'll be plastered everywhere socially on the social media world. It'll be plastered here on the website at CraigBushon.com. You'll be able to buy it right there, or you could just download it. Coming soon. But here's a liberal lie that I talk about. Liberal lie: illegal aliens are no different than legal immigrants. My candid comeback is, other than the laws they have broken to get here. There's a difference, folks. Let nobody tell you that there's not a difference between a immigrant that is a legal immigrant, one that came through Ellis Island in the past, or one that gets their visa and then goes home when they're supposed to and doesn't overstay it, one that follows the rules and maybe sitting in Canada, maybe sitting in South Africa, maybe sitting in somewhere in Europe or in Mexico. Those who wait in line legally are not the same as the ones who are running from the tragic hell that is in Mexico for many of them. And that's why they come here. I mean, some people say we should invade Mexico to free the people. We could free all the other people. Why don't we free the people that, want to hang out with us, kind of like us? I mean, I like chimichangas. I like margaritas. And I know that my friends who are Hispanic like hamburgers. If we're going to do anything, if we could liberate anybody, have you seen the Baja? It's pretty nice. We could Americanize it and they could Mexicanize it. I'm making up words, by the way. Just want you to know.
They like life cereal.
Oh, But I'm totally serious, folks. If you're going to go in and free anybody, why don't we go free people that are like our neighbors? They're running. They have backpacks are dying in the desert. Oh, okay. There's a lot of oil there. Sorry. Because, you got to have a reason to liberate people for some, The only reason we're in Iraq is for the oil. Part of that is true. Part of the reason that we're there is for oil, no doubt about that. But not to get too caught in the weeds, folks. The liberal lie again. Illegal aliens are no different than legal immigrants. Candid comeback. Other than the laws they have broken to get here. Compelling comeback. Tell that to someone who became a citizen the legal way. U.S. citizenship should be something considered precious and worth the struggle to obtain it legally. And the conclusive comeback, we're able to screen legal immigrants. We cannot screen out the criminals, drug addicts, terrorists, non-patriots, and communicable diseases from illegal population, which becomes pollution in our life. Which means that we have people running across the border. I don't care what flipping border it is. They could be swimming on the shores. I don't care. If we can't filter them out, we don't know who they are. God only knows what's happening. What's incubating in our country right now, like a petri dish. Again, that's coming from the book. That's coming out very shortly. 3.5 weeks, I think. And we'll have the title out there, surprising people. I think you'll be very interested. We've teased it out there a couple times, but look, very soon we're going to put it all out there right in front of you, and you're going to be able to download it, you're going to be able to buy it, you're going to be able to raise your IQ and have a little fun along the way. What do you think about that, David Whitehead?
I think that's a great, great idea.
Okay, I'm going to do one more then. Here's one more from the book. My book that's coming out soon. And it sounds like Savage. You know Michael Savage? You know Dr. Savage? Yeah, I love him. Or you have, who's that guy? Oh, man. What is his name? He's always on Sean Hannity on Fox. And he does his own little program on the web that he's sitting on his couch. Looks kind of creepy. And I used to work for the Clinton administration. What was that guy's name? And he's an author. Dang it. I'll remember later. Thanks for your help, David. By the way.
Anytime. I have no idea who you're talking about.
But it's embarrassing that I can't remember. But the bottom line is that
Andrew Breitbart.
They always not Breitbart's dead. Yes, that was not him. But was not David Breitbart. But it's the other guy. What is his name? He used to work for Clinton. He got Clinton reelected. How could anyone forget?
Oh, now I know who you're talking about.
Right on the tip of your tongue.
Right,
Isn't it?
Morris.
Yes,
Dick Morris.
Yes.
Something Morris.
Yeah, Dick Morris.
Dick Morris.
Yes. Oh, there's a prophylactic joke there, and I'm just not going to go into it right now. But the bottom line is, folks, that they talk about their books, and they talk about their books, they talk about their books, and now I'm shamelessly talking about my own book, and it's only because I want you to buy it. So I'm going to give you another free page, okay? Because normally you have to buy each page, but these pages are free. Liberal lie. Conservatives have no compassion. They are cold-hearted. Candid comeback. Liberals are responsible for the execution of millions of unborn children. Now tell me who is cold-hearted. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did that sting? Cultural comeback. Conservatives have emotions like everyone else. They simply keep them under control and do not let them decide political policy based on feelings. Yeah, that's kind of the, I throw a few punches. No doubt about that. But when we come back, folks, we're going to talk a little bit about rules of America's road to recovery. My father handed me the paper. Yeah, because, I would download it. But my dad is visiting from in town. He goes, you got to read this. And it's from the Wall Street Journal. Okay? And it's titled, Rules for Americans' Road to Recovery. It's been kind of a bumpy road, huh? There's a saying that's going to go in my next book, in the Let Me Tell You Something series that's coming out, a series of 4 books. One of the titles of it is this. One of the headings that you're going to see, one of the little adages, the road to recovery. Never forget this, folks, ever. Agony of defeat is what you get when you walk barefoot down the wrong path of life. Think about that.
The Bill Henry Show.
I can't believe you're not telling him to shut up, not letting him get his own opinion.
But Mr. Henry talks far more.
Of course, that's agony of the feet.
Yes, but that doesn't give you the right to just talk over me. So why not? Who's talking now?
Me, the host of the show, Mr. Henry. Why not?
Because I'm a doctor, and you're a guy that...
I'm a guy that what?
You sit and you go blah, blah, blah on the radio all day long.
Overnights from 1 to 4 a.m. on the new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.
It's Steven. If one of the things you're looking for is a new car, I have a different way to save money.
Become a member of United Heritage Credit Union like I did and get great rates and long terms on auto loans, like 2.49% APR for up to 72 months or 2.69% APR for up to 84 months. To become a member, sign up on their website at uhcu.org or call 435-4444. Federally insured by NCUA.
You can do a lot of things on your own. Tune up your car, repair your deck, create your own website. Facing the IRS is one thing you do not want to do on your own. You need to know your rights and your options, and the IRS will not tell you what they are. All they want is your money. It's that simple. And they are pros at getting your money, and you need pros to help you. Tax Resolution Services. This is a company, these are people I know and I have trusted for years. If you owe $20,000 or more in back taxes, if you have multiple years of unfiled returns, if you are facing or you are under an audit, you are in trouble, you need the pros, and I'm going to suggest, as always, Tax Resolution Services. Call 888-237-3822, 888-237-3822, taxresolution.com, 888-237-3822.
Are you planning to buy, sell, or lease a home? Members of the Austin Board of Realtors can assess the value of homes, negotiate pricing, and help navigate financing options. Realtors are your advantage in real estate transactions, and realtors work by a strict code of ethics.
Talk to your realtor or visit austinhomesearch.com today to start searching for property to buy, sell, or lease. It pays to work with a realtor. Brought to you by the Austin Board of Realtors.
Jimmy John's World's Greatest Gourmet Sandwiches, Ed speaking.
Yes, I need a sandwich delivery right away.
What kind of sandwich?
I don't care. Just get it to 215 Elm Street right now.
I'm on my way.
Jimmy John's.
Thanks for getting here so fast.
You're welcome, sir. Here's your sandwich. By the way, did you know your house is on fire?
That's why I called Jimmy John's.
Fire makes you hungry?
No, I knew you'd get here fast. Grab a bucket.
We're going to need more than 2 guys, sir.
You're right. What'll we do?
Leave it to me, sir. Hello, boss. Send everyone you got to 215 Elm. Doesn't matter what kind of sandwich, sir. I'll explain later. Thank you, sir.
Jimmy John's. Come in. Sir, did you know your house is on fire? Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know your house is on fire?
Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket. Fire department. Come in. Sir, did you know you... It's okay, Captain. We got it handled. Care for a sandwich? Thanks, but tell me something. Shoot. Why didn't you call the fire department first? I did.
Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Visit Jimmy John's.
All right, please stand by.
Location near you.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.
This is Dr. Phil, and we're back. Madam, I understand you had a nervous disorder that caused you to only speak in a high voice, but was cured by Craig Bushon.
Yes, I lived in a world of turmoil, a life of worry. It was so bad. But then I began listening to the Craig Bushon show, and my worries left me, and my voice returned to normal. I'm cured.
You mean this is your normal voice?
Yes. Well, it used to be so high only dogs and liberals could hear it. Thank you, Craig Bushon.
The Craig Bushon Show.
Bad news is normally delivered on Fridays. And that's why the Craig Bushon Show is here. Sundays. We do it on purpose. And it's a powerful medium because we can bring you the information so you are more prepared to judge what's being told to you the rest of the week as the spin masters are trying to make things lie. This will be interesting.
The Craig Bushon Show.
I'm just looking at myself on the camera. Look at this. It's like I'm on a pogo stick. Look, no hands. I deeply apologize. Oh, put that mind back in your head, folks. I deeply apologize. For anyone that I insult during my program, I only mean it if you deserve it. Please know that. Yes, it's a... Yes. Hey, guess what, folks? John Taylor wrote from Wall Street Journal that rules for America's road to recovery. Just a few minutes, just so you know. My face looks good, doesn't it?
Looks great.
Does it look better? Can you tell? It looks good to me.
Much better.
It does. It looks fantastic.
No red.
And it's because of Novitas Spa. We have Megan coming back in today. Megan DiMartino should be coming back in talking about my face. You know, listen, if I think no words need to be said after that statement. Folks, Rules for America's Road to Recovery. It's an article that's in the Wall Street Journal. I think it's Friday, June 1st. 20 days from the first day of summer. Just in case you have a trivia question ever, you need to answer about that.
I
June
thought it already
21st.
was.
Incorrect.
Feels like it.
No. My daughter's calling me. I don't think I'll pick up right now. Anyway. America's economic future is increasingly uncertain. In my view, he says, Mr. John B. Taylor, unpredictable economic policy, massive fiscal stimulus, and ballooning debt. The Federal Reserve's quantitative easing with multi-year zero growth. Think about that. Interest rates at 0% and regulatory uncertainty due to the Obamacare and the Dodd-Frank financial reforms is the main cause of persistent high unemployment and our feeble recovery from the recession. Article goes on to say a reform strategy built on more predictable rules-based fiscal, monetary, and regulatory policies will help restore economic prosperity. You know, like following the rules. Yeah, that kind of helps, doesn't it? Part of that has to do, folks, with like enforcing the law, you know. But anyway, I digress. Back to the article. Said the economic prosperity, the policies, what's going to need to be done to restore the economic prosperity, says that will be a daunting task. It's going to be very, very difficult. But of course, as they undertake the necessary changes, you know, we, the people, and our government, and all these reforms are done, we should be paying very close attention to what the great economist and philosopher Friedrich A. Hayek wrote in the middle years of the last century. Hayek argued that the case for rules-based policy goes beyond economics and should appeal to all those concerned about assaults on freedom. He wrote in his classic 1944 book, The Road to Serfdom, that nothing distinguishes more clearly conditions in a free country from those in a country under arbitrary government than the observance in the former of the great principles known as, here it is, folks, the crazy statement, the rule of law. Hayek added, stripped of all technicalities, this means that government in all its actions is bound by rules fixed and announced beforehand, rules which make it possible to foresee with fair certainty how the authority will use its coercive powers in given circumstances to plan one's individual affairs on the basis of the knowledge. Goes back to the, you know, there is factual things that you learn and that you believe that are right on, and then there's dishonest things that you learn through education designed to have you do the wrong thing while you think you're doing the right thing, hence how we get $16 trillion in debt. Hayek argued that the case for rules-based policy goes beyond all the economics. Hayek added that stripped of all the technicalities, rules-based policies make the economy work better by providing a predictable policy framework within the consumers and businesses. And as they make those decisions, folks, when they know the rules and everybody's held to that standard, that's when we're going to turn things around. But again, the article goes on to say, but they also protect freedom. Those rules protect the freedom, a concept Hayek developed in the 1960 book, The Constitution of Liberty. The moral of the story is we have got to make sure that we hold everybody accountable. Everybody accountable to when they break the rules that affect everybody across the country. That'd be our politicians. It's interesting. The gentleman's name escapes me. The vice president was interviewed. The vice co-founder, I should say, of Home Depot was on Fox News the other day, and I should have posted it up, and I will get it posted up later today. He had an interview, and he was on Greta, and he said that he could not build a Home Depot today. That's A. There's no way it could be done. And B, many of the people that are in government today should go to jail for what they've done. Not just today, but in the past. Because it's criminal activity what's happening in this country is what he means by that. Otherwise, why would you say that they should be in jail? Big businesses now are pushing forward their opinions. The people that have changed society, Home Depot's changed society. It has tens of thousands of employees. I know you shop there, most of you. And his opinion is, nope, couldn't get it done in today's politics and in today's rules. And B, a lot of the problems that we have are because of what goes on in government. And if we start enforcing the rules and we really held them accountable, Dodd-Frank, are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Dodd-Frank, there's the greatest example of two guys that are the problem, were the problem. They're not running again now. You notice that, right? Oh, no, we're not going to run for re-election. Yeah. That's because I think someone whispered in their ear, yeah, we're going to put you in jail. That's probably what we're going to do. The pressure's coming because we, the people, whether it's the Tea Party or if it's the former business owners of some of the largest, most powerful economic machines in business in the world, these people are stepping up now and pushing back. They're pushing back. Folks, we can't get in this situation in this country on accident. I've said it to you 1,000 times. The good news is people are stepping up and they're talking about it. That's why voting is such a big deal. Paying attention to who's in office. Dodd-Frank. Oh, yeah, now they come out with the Dodd-Frank, right? All the rules and regulations that they've put together. Hey, I bet they work perfectly. I'm serious. I bet it's exactly what we need. And the reason is because they're the ones who wrote all the rules to break them. Means that they know how to navigate the waters, so they know where all the secret exits are. Now that they've made all their money and all the cronies have made all the money and our trillions of dollars are gone and lost and retired, people can't retire, people have to go back to work, people that have worked their whole life who actually, could look into the future with their crystal ball that they really never had. Because the stock market. And your pensions. Oh, we didn't talk about pensions. Sorry. GM's doing a big settlement for pensions, just so you know. People aren't going to get as much as they thought. But it's better than nothing, It's just better than nothing. Please, folks, in America, welcome to America. It's better than nothing. That's our new motto. Welcome to American business. It's better than nothing. Folks, there's a lot of good news coming. A lot of good news. In the state of Texas, a lot of people were overthrown that were establishment people. Been there a long time. Out. I love that stuff. I really do. And for those politicians that have been there a long time, you're just guilty by association, I guess. You're probably going to go too. And some of you don't deserve it. I will be the first to admit that. But you're probably going to go too. Because you didn't stand up soon enough. You didn't get involved soon enough. You didn't point out the issue soon enough. You didn't stand up and put your job on the line to point out what was going on before we got in this mess. You're probably going to go too. Okay? It's kind of like when you drive by an accident and you don't stop. Or even worse, you drove by it and didn't tell the people that you saw next that it was back there, even though you didn't have the guts to get out and help. Well, that's kind of what's happened in our political world. So you, unfortunately, are probably going to go too, many of you. You're going to be out of office, a lot of you. If not this election, the next election, because you're guilty by association. It's the same thing we teach our kids. Yeah. Sorry. But it's a great article. I'll get it posted up on Facebook. It's in Wall Street Journal. The author is John B. Taylor. It's put together pretty well, so I think you'll get some great information. And when I come back, yes, we're going to focus on me. A little bit of, really, it's about helping those of us who have things like rosacea, okay, a reddening of the face, the capillaries, excited. I don't know why mine would ever get excited. I'm calm, cool, and relaxed. And when we come back, we're going to prove that this is not some type of quack science we're dealing with. This is real, legitimate stuff. Now, I've been on it for a couple weeks. It's working for me. I want to get the expert in the house, and that is Megan DiMartino in just about 60 seconds from now. Novitas Spa. We'll be back.
I'm Tori Ryder. With the exception to the rule, every stereotype you might hold about shifty occupations is going out the window. Apparently, weather is where fleecers of the tax-paying public are now hard at work. Two separate investigations say Weather Service employees reprogrammed millions, and the Weather Service's parent agency, NOAA, allegedly paid $44 million in unjustified or potentially illegal fees. Are we sure this is the weather agency? We're not talking casinos or garbage collection or any of the usual suspect businesses. Weather? Really? All those years of seemingly dedicated, no-nonsense scientific work is a pretense? Well, I hope they're proud of themselves, because the day will come when a Weather Department researcher tries to advertise his second-hand car, and the prospective buyer responds, "Did you say weather researcher? I'll pass." I'm Turi Ryder, with the exception to the rule.
I've been practicing law for a whole lot of years, and advice that I give people is protect your family. Protect your family with a will or a living trust, and do it at LegalZoom.com. If something happens, you want to make sure your family is protected. LegalZoom wills start at just $69, and both you and I know how expensive lawyers can be. LegalZoom.com does it inexpensively, does it brilliantly, and it's all done online, and all you do is answer a few simple questions, and most people get through that questionnaire in just minutes. The documents have been accepted by courts and government agencies in all 50 states, and you will get LegalZoom's $50,000 guarantee and attorney help when you need it through the personal legal plans. LegalZoom is not a law firm. It provides self-help services at your specific direction. And type handle in the referral box at checkout. LegalZoom.com.
Social networking goes airborne. This is Soundbites, and I'm Jan Ziv. Air travel can be one of the loneliest experiences in the world. Planes filled with people who don't know each other, masses of anonymous souls standing in endless airport lines. But it doesn't have to be. Why not get to know your traveling companions with Planely, spelled Planely. It's a social tool for frequent flyers. Enter your flight number and arrival and departure point, and using both TripIt and Facebook, Planely will tell you if other users are on the same flight or in the airport at the same time you are. And you'll get contact info. You might find someone you know, or someone you'd like to know. Maybe meet up before departure, break the monotony with a pleasant conversation.
We'll come back in 1 minute.
Over. Visit www.planely.com. Friendship could be in the air. With Soundbites, I'm Jan.
30 seconds.
Are you planning to buy, sell, or lease a home? Members of the Austin Board of Realtors can assess the value of homes, negotiate pricing, and help navigate financing options. Realtors are your advantage in real estate transactions, and realtors work by a strict code of ethics.
Talk to your realtor or visit AustinHomesearch.com today to start searching for property to buy, sell, or lease. It pays to work with a realtor. Brought to you by the Austin Board of Realtors.
The Craig Bushon Show. The Craig Bushon Show.
My brain is always ticking. My brain is always ticking. My brain is always ticking. As long as I am live and kicking.
Welcome back, folks. Craig Bushon here. Well, we got about 15 minutes or so. Whatever. But it's a miracle, folks. Those of you looking at me right now, it is a miracle. First of all, look at me. I mean, my complexion. David, you even said it yourself.
Yes, you look great.
Thank you so much. And it pains him to say that because he's trying to find a flaw, and I was just like, no, it looks better. And it really does look better, and it is a miracle. And as you know, every single week at this time, I have Megan DiMartino in from Novitas Spa. Welcome back. And we'll get your microphone to you, right? Once again, beautiful hat.
Thank you, sir.
I like that.
Thank you.
Very nice. And it is a miracle. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that miracle is, what it takes to, what am I doing? Those of you that have been following along with this, or if you're new, I've been getting some treatments done with Novitas Spa, and Megan's been doing a great job coaching me, showing me what I need to know, and then we're bringing that information to you. And today we need to tell you, okay, what's the next step? How can I help myself? Because that's what it's about, Megan, right?
Exactly.
Helping people help themselves, too.
That's the bottom line. It is giving the information about home care and treatments that really do make a difference.
Absolutely correct. And real quick, Reader's Digest, tell the folks, kind of what I've been going through, what we're dealing with me. I mean, a lot of people who watch me on the camera, my face has always been a little bit red. I think it's got a little bit worse over time. Just real quick, just to kind of bring people into the scope.
Just to bring you folks up to speed, basically, Craig has a condition called rosacea, which is a very hereditarily developed disease, or condition rather, excuse me. But it's made worse by sun and dietary things of life.
Sure.
And so with that said, we met, and we own a spa in Georgetown, Texas, called the Novitas Spa on the Square. Clinical excellence with a special pampering attitude, meaning that we never compromise on pampering, but focus on the needs of the individual with home care and treatments that work together with that. So we put Craig on a program of home care products, but also he's coming weekly and he started several weeks ago. Tomorrow will be his third treatment, and he's having our Photolight Rejuvenation treatment, which has really, I haven't seen him all week, and I do see a difference.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
Everybody around me mentions it, and what I love about it, I got to tell you, is that normally you think if you got to fix something that you've had a long time, it's a painful ordeal. You got to unwind all of that damage.
Right.
It's not painful at all. As a matter of fact, it's a pleasure to do
very
this.
Relaxing treatment.
And this technology, it's light. And Megan, tell the folks, it's not just an ordinary light. It's it's a NASA technology. Tell the folks a little bit about what's being shined on my face. So it's because it's painless, folks, and it makes me feel better because those of us who have rosacea, and the worse it is, the hotter your face feels. You feel flushed. That light, I got to tell you. Within an hour or two after the treatment, my face feels so much cooler. Right. It just keeps getting better. And why is that?
Well, because, first of all, as you mentioned, it was developed by NASA 60 years ago. It's photon infrared visible red light therapy or treatment. And their position was photosynthesis. Their point was they were developing light that would develop or grow, stimulate plant life for space, if people were in space for a long period of time. So it's very cellular. It penetrates very deeply past the epidermis of the skin into the deepest layers of the dermis. But going down along that way is the vascular highway underneath the epidermis or in the epidermis. And so that is what dilates and basically, again, exacerbated by sun and dietary with, predisposition of hereditarily condition.
Absolutely.
So the light itself is calming that vascular highway down, calming it down. And so therefore it's not dilating or distending, it's calming down. And that's why without you knowing, Craig, as you said, your skin just felt hot all the time, but yet you didn't really know why.
Right.
And so with the light treatment, it's calming it down, and therefore that, I wouldn't say necessarily cool, but meaning you're not having that tremendous buildup.
Right. And I've not changed anything, by the way. I've done everything else the same.
I.e. going in the sun, having Mexican food.
I will say that what's great about, the miracle that I'm going through right now and the product that I take home with me is that there's SPF in it.
Right.
So as I'm doing the treatment, I'm actually putting, protection on myself, so that's a great side effect, if you will. It's a very good thing for me because a lot of people out there, and folks, you know who you are, and that's most of us, we don't even put any sun protection on. We've joked with David because he's bald. He doesn't wear a hat a lot when it's outdoors, and damage happens. And so this week what we wanted to do is talk about those specific things that I am using.
Right.
And there's a miracle bag that we want to be able to offer to you, and Megan's going to tell you how to do that. We've got a special program put together here specifically for it. Obviously we have cameras in studio so you can actually see the product, and so go ahead and tell the folks about it.
Well, first of all, we've been developing pharmaceutical-grade, result-oriented skincare products since 1992, meaning these products are not new. They've been in the marketplace, sold to spas and medical spas throughout the United States, and we do export. We've been doing this since 1992. One of the things that I saw as time went on is that there's so many brands, and I'm not saying that they aren't effective, but they have so many products and are very confusing for the person using them. And I'm not even saying men, I'm just saying anyone.
Sure.
And so we say that this system is for anyone from 8 to 108 who has skin. Bottom line, you have to have skin. So with that said, we put together a synergistic system because everyone needs to cleanse their skin. Everyone needs exfoliation, and we'll talk about that in future weeks.
Absolutely.
Right? But everyone needs exfoliation. Everyone needs hydration balance, and everyone needs protection. And when I say everyone, I mean anyone who has oily skin, who has dry skin, who has rosacea.
It's just, in my case, I just happen to have something called rosacea that is being helped tremendously because of the treatments and the product that I'm using. And but even if you don't have that issue, we all still need to take care of our skin.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just the way it is. It's just that for people who have additional issues like I have, what a huge benefit.
Right. So it breaks it down into small, manageable parts to make it simple. So we say this is a simple, safe, synergistic system for all skin types. So it's a 3-step system, AM, PM concept. And this system is, as I said, a 3-step AM, PM concept for all skin types. So we have put together this, we call it the Miracle Experience Kit, and it's a 2 to 3 week try me. And we have it here for you folks.
And, it's basically the trial size of what I'm using. I have the large bottles at home and of these products, and I AM and PM, and it is something that I like because it feels good to put on. And I'm saying that as a man, because most guys are like, whatever.
No, exactly.
I don't want to do anything like that. Come on, that's makeup. It's not makeup.
No.
It's not. This is something that, let me tell you something, folks. It takes moments. It takes moments to put this on. Because here's what I like about it. The steps, when you apply them, they absorb in very quickly. You notice very quickly that your body understands that this is something that's there to help them, to help it. And then you can put the next step on. You don't have to wait 15, 20 minutes like you're watching paint dry, okay? This is something that's a very, very quick application. And what makes that important to me, Megan, is that people will do it when it's convenient and it's easier.
It's very true, Craig.
And that's what I love about the product and what wins me over. Yeah, it working is great, but if it took me an hour to do it, it'd be very hard for me to do.
Yeah, you would say it's just too much effort.
That's exactly right. And okay, so here we have the stuff in here. All right, let's walk through it again really quick for the folks. There was an offer today we're doing.
Yes.
Where people can go and they can purchase the product right online. We have a special product code that they can put in. You want to tell the folks about that?
Yeah. First off, we have a website. It's www.novitaspa.com, www.novitaspa.com. And on the website, there's a shopping cart. And go to that, and the code is MIRACLE. And this is regularly $30. It's a great travel kit. People come into the spa or order it online constantly, or spas sell it to their clients for travel, but it's a try me of the facial essential system for all skin types. And there's a 20% savings today.
And you just type in MIRACLE. Right when you're checking out, the code, you know how that works, folks, right? And you type it in, and you're going to save 20% off.
Right.
That's a huge deal, folks, because now you get to try it. How long should that last, what they get?
If you don't overuse it, and, people's tendency is to overuse things.
Just slather it on.
Exactly.
Right.
But Craig said something really important. The delivery system of these products are state-of-the-art. I hate that term, but
it's true.
They absorb it very quickly. There are no artificial fragrances, so it's just a fresh, botanical. So anyhow, to answer your question, that kit, if not overused, will last 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
We say 14 days because most people overuse it. But if you really use it, in that very small application amount, it'll last 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, guys, it's not aftershave. Okay, so we don't have to slather it on like Aqua Velva. It's just a little bit goes a long ways.
Yeah.
And again, I have it pulled up right now. It's shop. You could also here's a direct link that's also up on Facebook, and it'll take you to shop.novitaspa.com. Okay, and then you'll go right there to the page. You click it. Add to cart just like you would normally do in anything you purchase online. Put in MIRACLE. And you're going to save 20%. So that's a $6 savings, so that's $24. That's a big deal for something that can last up to a month, and it does not take long to feel the difference and see the difference.
We used to call this, when we first brought this out 15 years ago, I'm talking about this kit.
Sure.
We used to call it the 7-Day Miracle Experience Bag, because in 7 days you see a miracle. But it was confusing people because they perceived it was only enough for 7 days. So now we just call it the Miracle Experience Kit. But most importantly, buy it, use it, and you will see a difference. And another point to the price point is Craig showed last week full sizes. If you were to buy all 6 of these, it's approximately $260. This is $20-some-odd. $24. And therefore, with $24, that's a couple of Starbucks. You are going to really see a difference in your skin.
And you get to try something, folks, that is an affordable way to try some very advanced technologies. I specifically use it myself, as you know, and you're seeing it in real time. Because you know me. There's thousands of you each week that just on my Facebook alone, you click on the link that I have there, and you can buy and save 20%. But I wouldn't even have it on there if I didn't believe in it, and you know that. And this is something that you need to try yourself. You need to know that it works for yourself. And that's why I think it's so great that you've put this together, that it's something small. Mm-hmm. It's something that's, not a big risk monetarily for somebody, because some people, they don't want to put that risk out there. It's something very affordable. Again, the website they go to. Go ahead and tell them.
www.novitaSpa.com. And by the way, Novita, we haven't mentioned this in the few weeks I've been here, that Novita means new birth, new life. Something new.
It is. And what's new right now, folks, is me. Look at me. Come on. It's David. Thank you so much for your compliments. Happy birthday. David Whitehead's birthday today.
Thank you.
49 years old.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Oh, he always does a great job. Megan, thank you so much.
And this is David's birthday present.
Oh, it is?
Absolutely.
Look at you.
Yes.
Well.
Thank you.
New birth, new life, David.
I will compliment you.
Always something new.
Megan DiMartino, Novita Spa. Got it up on Facebook. Go to NovitaSpa.com. Go to the store. Put in Miracle. Save 20% for the Miracle Experience Bag. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless. Take care of the family. And we'll see you tomorrow.